In 2017, a visitor from another star shattered every rule we thought we knew about space rocks. This needle-shaped object, racing at over 50 meters per second, was accelerating in ways that should have been impossible. No tail, no cometic glow, just a dark shard tumbling through our solar system, faster than anything we had ever seen from the inside. But that was just the beginning. You are about to witness how that first mysterious visitor led us to build the most powerful skywatching network ever created, and how in July 2025, we discovered something that makes that first object look ordinary. Like and subscribe to join us on this cosmic detective story. Prepare yourselves. We begin. Music. October 19th, 2017 changed everything we thought we knew about visitors from space. Robert Warwick was doing what astronomers do every clear night on Maui, scanning telescope images for moving dots among the stars. The Pan-STARRS telescope had captured something, and at first glance it looked like any other space rock drifting through our cosmic neighborhood. Then the measurements started coming in. This object was moving at 196,000 miles per hour. That is 54 miles every single second. To put that in perspective, imagine a bullet traveling from New York to Los Angeles in just over 1 minute. That speed told astronomers one impossible thing. This visitor came from another star. Nothing from our solar system moves that fast. Our asteroids and comets cruise at a leisurely 12 meters per second on average. This newcomer was moving almost 5 times faster than anything bound to our sun. The speed meant it had been traveling through the vast emptiness between stars for millions, possibly hundreds of millions of years before stumbling into our solar system. We gave it a Hawaiian name fitting for the first messenger from the stars. The word means scout or messenger arriving first from afar. But speed was just the beginning of its strangeness. As telescopes around the world tracked this visitor, they discovered something that made no sense. The object was tumbling end over end like a cosmic football, and its brightness changed dramatically every 7.5 hours. This told us the shape was unlike anything we had ever seen in space. Most asteroids are roughly round like cosmic potatoes. Most comets are dirty snowballs with irregular but compact shapes. This visitor was different. Really different. The brightness changes suggested something 10 times longer than it was wide. Picture a skyscraper lying on its side spinning through space. No known asteroid or comet in our solar system has such an extreme shape. The closest comparison would be a cosmic pencil or perhaps an alien spaceship, though that seemed too fantastic to consider seriously. Yet, there it was, tumbling through our solar system like a shard of metal or rock carved by forces we could not begin to understand. As if the shape and speed were not strange enough, this visitor had one more surprise waiting for us. Something that would puzzle scientists for years and spark theories ranging from the scientifically plausible to the absolutely extraordinary. The mystery was just beginning to unfold, and what happened next would challenge everything we thought we knew about objects from other star systems. But compared to what astronomers would discover about its movement, the shape was just the warm-up act. The Panoramic Survey Telescope and Rapid Response System sits on the summit of Halakala like a cosmic lighthouse, sweeping the Hawaiian skies for threats. Every night, this automated hunter captures images of space, looking for anything that moves against the background of distant stars. Most nights bring the usual suspects. Main belt asteroids plodding along their predictable paths between Mars and Jupiter. An occasional comet wandering in from the outer solar system. Sometimes a near-Earth asteroid that requires a closer look, but October 19th was different. The computer flagged something that made astronomers stop their coffee and stare at their screens. The Discovery images showed a faint dot moving across the starfield. At first, nothing seemed unusual about the movement itself. Space rocks move. That is what they do. But when astronomers calculated the trajectory, they realized they were looking at something that should not exist. This object was not orbiting our sun. It was passing through our solar system like a traveler on a highway, never to return. When you trace the path backward, it came from the direction of the star Vega in the constellation Lyra. But here is where it gets strange. The object took so long to reach us, about 300,000 years, that Vega was not even in that position when the journey began. This visitor had been wandering through interstellar space since before modern humans walked the Earth. It drifted through the cosmic void while our ancestors were learning to make tools and paint on cave walls. The Discovery team knew they had found something unprecedented. For decades, astronomers had predicted that interstellar objects should exist. Other star systems must occasionally fling asteroids and comets into the galaxy, just like our own system does. Gravitational encounters with giant planets can launch small bodies at escape velocity, sending them on million-year journeys between the stars. The math said these wanderers should be out there. Finding one was like looking for a specific grain of sand on all the beaches of Earth. But finding it was only the beginning. Once telescopes around the world started tracking this interstellar vagrant, the real mysteries began to emerge. The brightness measurements revealed that this was no ordinary space rock. The way light reflected off its surface told a story of a journey unlike anything in our experience. This object had been battered by cosmic radiation for hundreds of millions of years. High-energy particles from exploding stars and other violent cosmic events had slowly changed its surface color to a deep red like rust on cosmic metal. The red color meant this traveler was old, really old. It had been wandering between stars since before our solar system settled into its current configuration. While Earth was still being bombarded by asteroids in the late heavy bombardment 4 billion years ago, this object may have already been drifting through space, carrying secrets from its long-lost home. Yet, even as astronomers celebrated finding the first confirmed interstellar visitor, they had no idea that the biggest mystery was still waiting to be discovered. Something about this object would soon defy every explanation they could imagine. Astronomers had never seen anything like what the brightness measurements were telling them about this cosmic visitor. As the object tumbled through space, telescopes tracked how its reflected light changed over time. Picture a cosmic lighthouse beam sweeping across Earth. But instead of a steady light, this beacon flickered dramatically every few hours. The brightness varied by more than 2.5 times as the object rotated. That much variation meant only one thing. This was no ordinary round space rock. Most asteroids are roughly spherical, like cosmic potatoes with bumps and craters. Even the most elongated asteroids in our solar system rarely stretch more than 3 times longer than they are wide. But this interstellar wanderer was different. The brightness changes suggested an object at least 10 times longer than its width. Imagine a skyscraper lying on its side, tumbling end over end through the vacuum of space. The shape was so extreme that some astronomers wondered if they were looking at a fragment. Perhaps this elongated shard was a piece of something much larger that had been shattered by a cosmic collision millions of years ago. Maybe 2 asteroids crashed together in another star system, and this needle-like fragment was launched into interstellar space by the violence of that ancient impact. But other scientists propose an even stranger possibility. What if this object was not rock at all, but ice? In the cold depths of interstellar space, exotic forms of ice can exist that would be impossible near any star. Perhaps this visitor was made of hydrogen ice formed in the heart of a molecular cloud between stars. The extreme cold and pressure in these cosmic nurseries can create materials unlike anything found in planetary systems. The hydrogen ice theory could explain the bizarre shape. As this interstellar iceberg approached our sun, the outer layers would sublimate away, carving the object into increasingly strange configurations. Like a cosmic sculpture being carved by starlight, the warming ice would reshape itself as it traveled deeper into our solar system. The process could transform a normal round object into the elongated needle shape that puzzled astronomers. Yet, even this exotic explanation faced problems. The object appeared too small and too dark to be made entirely of ice. Its surface reflected light like rock or metal, not the bright, shiny surface expected from an ice body. The red color suggested a surface that had been weathered by cosmic radiation for millions of years, slowly changing its chemistry in ways that ice could not survive. Some researchers proposed the most radical explanation of all. What if this was not a natural object? The unusual shape was unlike any asteroid or comet ever observed. The precise elongated form looked almost engineered. Could this be debris from an alien civilization? Perhaps a piece of technology from another star system designed for purposes we could not imagine. While most scientists remained skeptical of the alien hypothesis, they could not deny that this object challenged every assumption about natural space rocks. However, the shape was only the beginning of the mystery. The velocity measurements told a story that made astronomers question everything they thought they understood about objects in space. This interstellar visitor was not just moving fast, it was moving impossibly fast. At 196,000 miles per hour, it was traveling nearly 5 times faster than typical comets and asteroids in our solar system. To understand how extraordinary this speed was, imagine standing next to a highway where normal traffic moves at 60 miles per hour. Suddenly, a vehicle rockets past at 300 miles per hour. That is the cosmic equivalent of what astronomers were witnessing. The speed alone proved this object came from interstellar space. Nothing bound to our sun could achieve such velocity through natural gravitational interactions. Even our fastest spacecraft, when boosted by multiple planetary flybys, barely reach 40 meters per second. This cosmic wanderer was cruising at over 50 meters per second, carrying the kinetic energy of its million-year journey between the stars. But speed creates its own mysteries in space. When an object moves this fast relative to our solar system, it experiences effects that slower objects never encounter. The interstellar medium, the thin gas and dust that fills the space between stars, becomes like a cosmic headwind. Over millions of years, this resistance should slow down any object traveling through it. Yet, this visitor maintained incredible velocity, suggesting it had not been wandering for as long as initially thought. The trajectory analysis revealed another puzzle. When astronomers traced the path backward to its origin, they found that this object had not been traveling in a straight line through space. Something had influenced its course during the long journey between stars. Perhaps it passed close to another star system where gravitational forces bent its path. Or maybe it encountered one of the massive clouds of gas and dust that drift through our galaxy, each containing enough material to build thousands of new star systems. The speed also meant that observers had only a limited window to study this cosmic messenger. Unlike asteroids and comets that orbit our sun for months or years, this interstellar visitor was just passing through. It had already made its closest approach to the sun by the time astronomers discovered it. Now it was racing away from us at tremendous velocity, growing fainter with each passing day. Telescopes around the world raced against time to gather as much data as possible before the object disappeared forever into the depths of space. Every night of observation was precious. Every measurement might reveal crucial clues about the nature of this visitor and the star system that had sent it on its cosmic journey. The pressure to understand this object quickly led to an international collaboration unlike anything seen before in astronomy. Observatories from Hawaii to Chile to South Africa pointed their instruments at this fleeting target. Radio telescopes listened for any signals that might indicate artificial origin. Infrared detectors searched for heat signatures that could reveal the object's composition. Yet, even as this unprecedented observational campaign gathered data, the object had one more surprise waiting for the scientific community. Something that would challenge the very laws of physics as applied to small bodies in space. In June 2018, Marco Michelli and his team at the European Space Agency announced a discovery that would send shockwaves through the astronomical community. This interstellar visitor was not following the path that gravity predicted. As telescopes tracked its movement away from the sun, the object was deviating from the trajectory calculated using only gravitational forces. It was accelerating, not dramatically, but measurably and consistently. The deviation was tiny, like a marble rolling down a perfectly smooth table, suddenly gaining an extra push from an invisible hand. The acceleration was about the same force you would feel if someone gently blew on your face. For a cosmic object traveling at tremendous speed, this represented a significant anomaly. In space, where there is no air resistance or friction, objects follow predictable paths determined by gravity alone. Planets, asteroids, and comets all obey these fundamental laws. This visitor was apparently writing its own rules. For astronomers, this represented a profound puzzle. The acceleration was in the right direction and had the right characteristics to be caused by outgassing. When comets approach the sun, ice on their surface turns directly into gas in a process called sublimation. This escaping gas acts like a natural rocket engine, giving the comet a small but measurable push away from the sun. The phenomenon is well understood and has been observed in thousands of comets. But this object showed no signs of the outgassing that creates comet acceleration. There was no visible coma, the bright fuzzy cloud of gas and dust that surrounds active comets. There was no tail streaming away from the object as gas and dust particles are pushed by solar radiation. Telescopes saw only a dark, apparently solid object tumbling through space.